G'day. Today in the warehouse we're going to talk about if you should actually replace the OE tyres on your car. And we have this Ranger Wild Track here as a special guest, and we also have Dennis from Goodyear.
Yeah, guys.
Thanks for coming along, Dennis.
No worries, Joe. No problem.
So what we're going to do is we're going to roll through a variety of tyres. So let's start off with the OE tyre. So this here is the same tyre that came on this car here. So same, but it's loose. So we can actually say this is the tread pattern and this is the sidewall. Isn't that fantastic? Now, Dennis.
Yep.
The OE tyre.
Jared, it's OE for a reason.
Yep.
It's tuned for this vehicle.
Yep.
When you look at how different sizes, different tread depths and all that, when they start tuning this vehicle on the road, off-road, highway, wherever it is, it has to go with the spec for this
That's
vehicle.
right. So there's certain performance parameters that Ford are looking for using Ford for example, but this carries through. But certain performance parameters, so they want it to be, have the right safety margins. They want it to stop within a certain amount of distance.
That's right.
From how I understand it, the OE tyre is the thing. They build the car, they put all the components together, and then right at the end, it's the tyre that actually helps to make sure that the vehicle performs to its level that they want. But we also know that on vehicles, so in your smaller vehicles and your sports cars, you might want to go for a more sports-oriented tyre. You might want something more performance. You might want something quieter. So you switch the tyres out. So we're going to go through a few examples as to what you might actually want to switch to. And we're keeping them Goodyear, but keep in mind that these are actually, there's other tyres in this bracket and these aspects that you can actually switch to as well, depending on your budget, depending on where you can source them from, that sort of thing. But luckily, we've got Goodyear here today to actually talk about the individual tyres that are within their range that we can move to. So let's get rid of the OE tyre.
See you later, OE.
And next we have the Silent Track. Well, let's switch that around so we get the white lettering, because white lettering's cool.
I know you like white lettering.
I love white lettering. So probably the next step up in the Goodyear range from the OE tyre is the Silent Track. Why would we want to go just that little bit more to the Silent Track rather than the OE tyre?
From a range point of view, now you can have different sizes that you can start fitting on your OE, right? Not so much around, because you got to remember, Jared, a lot of people are conscious about legal parameters as well,
Yep.
right? Is it within, my placarded for the vehicle, right?
Yep.
Is it legally fitted for my vehicle? Also, from an insurance point of view too, right? So there is pros and cons when you go upgrade your OE fitment to a replacement tyre.
So if you go from an OE size like this, and you go to a full wild 35-inch tyre, then you're well outside the legal requirements here in Australia that you're actually allowed to upgrade.
That's right. But when you're talking about, okay, what's my next step? This is the Wrangler Silent Track. You're looking at, your reliability from an off-road, but still able to give you that smooth and comfort when you're going to bitumen.
Yeah.
Right?
So looking at the tread pattern, we've actually still got some consistent shoulders, which means that it's not going to be as noisy, but we've got these biting tread blocks on the way through. I'll come up and show you guys over there. And again, if you want the white writing, then you can step up to that.
From a off-road point of view, you're right. You've got the voids there. From a tread block point of view, the voids are quite large, right, compared to the OE.
That's right, absolutely. And so with the OE, we can see we've got, I don't know if you can see that from there, but we've got all these
more interlocking
that's right.
tread blocks, right?
Yeah, so and there's not necessarily as many biting surfaces as you're starting to get on these more AT-oriented tyres. So let's move on from the Silent Track and go for the AT Adventure. So this is probably a more standard upgrade for folks that are looking to go from the OE tyre, and they might almost just do it straight away. They'll go off with the standard wheels and up to an AT tyre. So why would people be going from the OE to the AT?
So this is now your 50-50 split, right?
Yep. So 50-50 off-road to on-road.
On-road. Yep. So when you start looking at where do I want to go for the weekend? What do I want to do for what kind of lifestyle do I want? This will give you the benefit of going off-road, give you the confidence.
Yep.
Right? Compared to the OE, this has a Kevlar. DuPont Kevlar on as part of the tread.
Yep.
You've got different layers there, and we talked about this in the early videos about weight's still a big issue, right? So, and you got Kevlar in there. It's a lot of material.
Yes,
right.
That's
compared
right.
to the belts and the layers that you have in there.
The AT Adventure is actually not too dissimilar to the OE tyre weight, which is great. And so, we talk in these videos about 2-ply, 3-ply, that sort of thing. That means the actual, how many layers of fabric there are in the actual casing of the tyre. And so the OE tyre is a 2-ply tyre, and which is passenger rated, and the AT Adventure is a 2-ply tyre, which is passenger rated. So in terms of durability, you're stepping it up a level, but you're also keeping that comfort level, that comfort aspect, and the conformability that you get from a 2-ply sidewall tyre. So it's not a huge jump, but you're also, if we show you the tread pattern, you're seeing a whole bunch more of these, these biting edges, more siping, more durability going on, and a deeper tread as well in the AT tyres.
When you look at the blade angle configuration, and we know we love that word, right? So when you look at the tread blocks, you have this angled blades throughout it, right, which adds to your traction.
Absolutely.
Right? So compared to the OE tread block design, you can see here that the tread block design, particularly when you look at, the inner tread blocks there, you've got these cavities there.
Yep.
When you start going through the mud or even through sand, it does help with your traction. Right? And also in between that, you've got these little grooves that, again, help disperse all the debris that's sitting in there.
Absolutely. There will be more tread depth as well with the AT versus the original OE size tyre. So, maybe they'll last a little bit longer. We don't really know. We can't go into that too much because technical guys don't like even being bogged down with that. But
there is a mileage guarantee for some sizes, right, up to 95,000.
Yeah.
Right. So we talk about mileage. The part that will help people with mileage and tread depth wear is, again, rotation, maintenance,
absolutely,
tyre pressure. Right?
Yeah.
Look after it, and we'll look after you for that.
Absolutely. Let's move on to a less mild-mannered soul and go to the RT. So this is the RT. What's its full name?
Duratrack RT.
Wrangler
Duratrack.
RT.
Beautiful.
Exactly. So this is for those who are maybe stepping it up another notch. So you've taken the OE tyre off. You've got some fancy rims. You're planning on going bush on a more regular basis. You might be going somewhere where you need more durability in the sidewall as well. So these are a 3-ply sidewall tyre, and I'll talk more generically about the general industry as well. So if we're getting into aggressive all-terrains and RT type tyres, there is a lot of choice out there now in terms of these aggressive all-terrains, and they're becoming a bigger segment that everyone wants to get more, wants to play in. So this is probably the sort of the sexy spot at the moment.
That's right.
That all the manufacturers are producing new tyres for, and the RT is brand new right now as we film this. And so, Dennis, what are the reasons why we would go from an OE to an RT?
And I think you touched on it, Jared. So when you look at the industry and what's changed since the last couple of years is that people are now going out more, camping more, traveling more, and also want to bring as many things as they want. Right, so
that's right. I want all the things. Can I bring the microwave, please?
Microwave, yes. Exactly. Yes. Not just the kitchen sink.
And the generator.
And my upright fridge.
That's right, and the goat.
So when you look at the industry and how it's changed, right, the Duratrack RT is going along with that change, right? Light truck, 3-ply sidewall.
Yep.
It has to cater for that load-bearing weight of, when we start upgrading these vehicles, there's a good chance when you upgrade your tyre, you start upgrading other things.
That's right.
You end up doing a lift kit, you end up putting a canopy. Yep. So again, it adds to weight.
That's right. So people can go hundreds of kilos above what a standard vehicle is. And so that's when heading to the light truck construction rather than the passenger construction of the OE tyre means that it's going to be more capable of handling that weight without you necessarily feeling as much. But it also means a more durable construction in comparison to the OE tyre as well. And so as you get into these more aggressive all-terrains and the RT type tyres like what we've got here, you start to see them being 3-peak mountain snowflake rated, which means that they maintain conformability in sub-zero temperatures, and they're going to help you achieve better grip levels on slippery surfaces. But the other consideration is, which of these tyres really suits your lifestyle if you're properly honest with yourself?
That's right.
You might feel like you need a 3-ply hardcore tyre like this, but would a regular, like the AT Adventure that we had before, would that actually be more suitable for your lifestyle, even though you are doing the occasional hardcore trip? But it might mean you're happier with the tyre, day to day, week to week, with the life of the tyre.
That's a good point, Jared, because depending on your driving conditions and what you want to do with your vehicle, sometimes the OE tyre will do its job, right? If you're happy to go down to the beach, do a bit of sand driving, come home, then there's no reason why you should stick to the OE tyre.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, really, isn't it? Because the OE tyre, in particularly this situation where it's actually a reasonable looking 2-ply sidewall AT of some capability, it'll probably actually perform better in the sand than the RT would, even though the RT looks more aggressive.
That's right, yeah. And you're right, so when you start deflating the OE tyre, how it's going to dig into the sand will feel differently to this, right? Similar to when you start putting a mud terrain and go through it to the sand or on the beach. Start deflating it, it's going to have a different feel.
Be serious with yourself. But if we want to get serious, let's address our next customer.
Speaking of serious
muscle, serious buff, serious bold, getting bolder and bolder. This is the
Boulder MT.
Boulder MT.
New to the Wrangler family.
Brand new.
Brand new. You start fitting this on, you're going to feel the drive considerably different.
Yep.
But even before you start driving it, there's a few things you need to do to your car.
Yes.
Right? Lift kit. You may have to change a bit of the suspension, even the upper control arms, right? There's all that involved just to put this tyre on.
That's right. So you actually have to do some surgery before you can fit this sort of tyre, because this sort of tyre actually is sort of a minimum size. Like, they don't necessarily go down to the same size as the OE tyres come out. So there is some commitment in actually going to an MT tyre as well, or a bigger size tyre. What are some of the other drawbacks of going to an MT type tyre from an OE?
The drive's going to feel different.
Yep.
It's going to feel sluggish. It's heavier compared to the OE fitment, and if you're willing to compromise, and like you said, if you want to look great and look the part, mate, this is it.
That's right, sexy as hell. But you touched on the weight. So the weight, tyres are really interesting in that they're actually unsprung weight. So everything you add to the vehicle, like you add your racks on, you add your bull bar, you add the passengers in the back, that's sprung weight, which means it's above the suspension. Whereas unsprung weight is your tyres and the wheels, and every single kilogram you add to that is actually a massive thing in comparison to adding weight above the springs. So if you make your tyres and wheels heavier, that means it takes more power to bring them up to speed, and also more braking power to bring them down from speed as well.
Yep.
So some huge considerations there too. So
when you go with this tyre, there's a good chance you're going to have to update your wheel as well.
Yep.
You can't stick with the OE wheel.
No,
right?
that's a very good
some
point.
OE wheels won't be able to cater for a light truck construction tyre.
Yep.
Right, and you're going to do more damage than what you started with. Right?
That's
so you're right. Trade-offs, compromise, but then again, if you want to look the part.
Yep. Exactly, and interestingly, so if I was to upgrade from the OE size tyre to one of these, so I know that I think the wheels on these are probably 6 inches wide, 7 inches wide, or something like that. I would go to a 9-inch wide rim, 9.5 thereabouts, and the offset on a Ranger is plus 55 when it comes from factory. So that's how far out it is from the hub and wood door hole. I'll do on that because it's confusing. But I would go out to a plus 30, which is legal, or a plus 20, which is just pokes the tyre nicely outside the car. Just a little bit of both is lovely. I think that is our conversation about OE tyres. So let's roll this one out and say thanks very much for paying attention. And thanks again to Dennis for talking about OE tyres with us.
All good.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.